I don't know Russell Brand from a hole in the wall. I've never been a particular fan of his brand of comedy. Frankly, his twitchy mannerisms have always left a sizzle of unease in my spirit. So, I have no way to know if he has done or is innocent of the accusations being levied against him. But here is what I know. Sexual assault is the most heinous of crime an individual can commit against another, aside from murder, because of how it violates and dehumanizes the victim, and also due to the lifelong devastation that it causes. But falsely accusing someone of rape is just as heinous of a crime for the same exact reasons. Being the most dangerous commentary show on Beyonce's internet comes with its own set of challenges. YouTube time and time again refuses to promote our videos because we have very controversial takes on extremely sensitive subjects. So chances are, if you stumbled on this clip by accident, you'll never get to see our content again unless you hit that subscribe button. It only takes 1 second. But either way, we're glad you're here. And now, back to the clip. Russell Brand, a once beloved English comedian known for his quirky antics and the fact that he was once married to Katy Perry, is now the newest candidate underneath the guillotine of sexual assault accusations. I am sure, just like me, you're eager to see a police report as well as physical and forensic evidence so this abhorrent monster can be charged, convicted, and taken off the streets to never harm another woman again. And if that's the case, I'm afraid you and I both will be waiting for a long, long time. As some of these allegations date back to the year 2000, so approximately 23 years ago. Jesse, the antiquated receipts.
British comedian Russell Brand rose to fame in the mid-2000s on the stand-up scene.
Russell Brand!
And became even more well-known when he married pop icon Katy Perry. He stunned audiences with explicit jokes and gained notoriety for his risque comedy.
Yeah, I take an awful lot of precautions. What I do is I make absolutely sure that it is a woman, then go for it.
Look how sensitive and vulnerable he is. He must be gay.
That's right.
That means women feel safe around me, they trust me, then bang, pregnant, bang, pregnant, bang, pregnant.
He's spoken openly about his sex addiction and frequent sexual encounters.
I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual.
A joint investigation by The Times and Channel 4 alleges that isn't the case.
I know for many, many years that women have been warning each other about Russell.
4 women who have chosen to remain anonymous claim they were sexually assaulted by the actor between 2006 and 2013. One woman alleges Brand assaulted her when he was in his 30s and she was 16.
I was pushing him away, and he wasn't backing off at all. And so I ended up having to punch him really hard in the stomach to get him off.
Another woman told the investigation the actor raped her while pinned against a wall in his home.
I was very distraught, trying to get out of the house, with him being so much taller than me, like holding me up against the wall.
Brand was a presenter in the UK and a Hollywood star at the time of the alleged assaults. He denied the claims in a video released before the investigation was made public.
Amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute.
Billionaire Elon Musk is among thousands online supporting the 48-year-old who claims he's under attack by the mainstream media. Brand's agents have cut ties with him, but he's still performing, and at his latest show he told the audience there were things he wanted to talk about and could not. Michelle Rimmer, ABC News, London.
Now, I don't know Russell Brand from a hole in the wall. I've never been a particular fan of his brand of comedy. Frankly, his twitchy mannerisms have always left a sizzle of unease in my spirit. So, I have no way to know if he has done or is innocent of the accusations being levied against him. But here is what I know. Sexual assault is the most heinous of crime an individual can commit against another, aside from murder, because of how it violates and dehumanizes the victim, and also due to the lifelong devastation that it causes. But falsely accusing someone of rape is just as heinous of a crime for the same exact reasons. Hence why it is such an unfathomably dangerous practice to litigate these kinds of matters in the court of public opinion. In the case of Russell Brand, his entire livelihood has now been grinded to a fine powder based on 20-year-old allegations. Not charges, allegations. One of the cornerstones of a democratic society is the right for one to face their accuser. In this case, however, we are told to believe women whose names we don't know or whose testimony we can't judge because they are portrayed by actors in the Channel 4 documentary. And don't get me wrong, I deeply sympathize with the fact that it is hard for a sexual assault victim to come forward, given all the stigma associated with such allegations. But it's nonetheless ever more important because not only the evidence gathering process is on a clock, but also because as a woman who knows how heinous and traumatic of an experience an assault of that kind is, ensuring that the perpetrator is locked away in order to prevent him from hurting other women should be amongst your chief concerns, prompting you to come forward. Not a documentary on Channel 4. But with all that being said, one can't help but notice the timing of this entire saga. According to the media, it was a well-known secret that Russell Brand was often sexually inappropriate towards women. He does, after all, state in his memoir that he was a man of carnivorous appetites with a body count in the thousands. So, if that is the case, why didn't they report on it then? You let this man you claim to know to be a predator just run amok for 2 decades? What changed? Could it be that Katy Perry's naughty ex-husband started saying things like these? Jesse, the politically incorrect receipts.
We love facts. I love facts.
I wouldn't have mentioned it. I'm English, and you know that politeness is our fundamental religion.
Yeah.
But they do pertain to this issue, so may I say some of them? If they inconvenience you, I'll stop saying them. The pandemic created at least 40 new big pharma billionaires. Pharmaceutical corporations like Moderna and Pfizer made $1,000 of profit every second from the COVID-19 vaccine. More than two-thirds of Congress received campaign funding from pharmaceutical companies in the 2020 election. Pfizer chairman Albert Bourla told Time magazine in July 2020 that his company was developing a COVID vaccine for the good of humanity, not for money. And of course, Pfizer made $100 billion in profit in 2022. And may I just mention, finally, and this is also a fact, that you, the American public, funded the development of that. The German public funded the BioNTech vaccine. When it came to the profits, they took the profits. When it came to the funding, you paid for the funding. It's difficult not to...
But I will just add one thing. It is possible that these are greedy capitalists who made a lot of money, and also there are a lot of people who did need the vaccine.
Yes.
There are a lot of people who did need the vaccine. I never wanted to be told I was one of them who had to take it. But there are lots of people who needed that vaccine and would be dead without it. That is true, too.
Bill.
That is true, too. More facts.
All I'm querying is this.
Yes.
Is if you have an economic system in which pharmaceutical companies benefit hugely from medical emergencies, where a military-industrial complex benefits from war, where energy companies benefit from energy crises, you are going to generate states of perpetual crisis, where the interests of ordinary people separate from the interests of the elite.
And these, of course, are not the only controversial positions Brand holds. He doesn't espouse the January 6th narrative, for example. Plus, his views on the war in Ukraine don't toe the party line either. And with a whopping 6 million subscribers on his YouTube channel listening to him every day, Needless to say that he makes a lot of very powerful people angry and nervous. This has now become a classic play on the left. Levies sexual misconduct accusations at anyone who questions the divine order of things. From Andrew Tate to Brett Kavanaugh to Clarence Thomas, you name it. The beauty of it, too, is that you don't even need to prove the accusations. The fact alone that they were levied is enough to ruin a man's life and reputation. And if you and even if later these allegations get proven false and, you were proven innocent, it's just too late. The damage is already done. Look at Kevin Spacey. The man was literally bankrupted by a mountain of legal fees, proven innocent, but still cannot work. And that is what the left wants to see happen to any and all dissenting opinions. A total and complete evisceration of its enemies. Absolutely preposterous.